Adam here with Brooksaw Antiques, and today we have this 1963 Smith Corona Sterling, my first mint condition typewriter. Vintage portable typewriter. I'm going to show you how to use the functions and make sure they all work. It's got this little tag on the back. This is probably the company that sold this initially, and I don't think it's ever been used since. And you can just feel the foot mounts. They're brand new, feels like, but they're not brand new. These are old stock. So, and you can just hear and feel that grip. I've never felt that. I've been doing this for almost 7 years. Never seen a typewriter in this condition before. Up top is the adjustable paper guide. This helps you guide the page in straight. I'm going to line that up with the edge of the platen, which is the main roller that feeds the paper. And this is your left margin. I'm going to set that around 0 and just lock it in, and the right one around 75. That's about the length of a page. And that's the paper support arm that flips up from the back. And this is the paper bail that sits on top. It's got 2 adjustable rollers. And if you just hear that escapement, perfect. This is how Smith Corona designed these from the factory. Never been touched by a technician ever. This thing feels like it's just from the factory. Everything is just sounds exactly the way it should. Never been adjusted. Whew. And if you just can hear that bell the way I hear it here in real life, it just sounds like the best bell I've ever heard in my entire life. And it's just so smooth, and you just feel that carriage. This is your um, line space return, and it's got 3 spaces: single, double, and triple. And there's a lever back here for double and triple. That works good. We're going to keep that on single for now and just finish typing. As you can see, all the keys type nice and none of them skip or stick. I'll type a sentence in red on the next line. A switch from black to red is the switch on the right side here. Flip that all the way down to that red icon. It prints the bottom portion of the ribbon. When you have it in the middle, it doesn't print any ink at all. It just leaves a stencil for copying purposes. When you have it up top, it prints the top portion of the ribbon, which is black. We're going to move that down for red. Just absolutely perfect. The print has never been adjusted or messed with from the factory. Everything is perfect on this. The print is perfect. The condition is perfect. Let's take a look at the inside here. There's no dust on this thing whatsoever. It's just been in storage like a time capsule for the past 70 years or whatever. Look at those keys. And the whole body is like that. The entire typewriter is like that. Look at that matting. Has never even, it doesn't even look like it's had any moisture in it in its entire life. It's like it's been sitting in a dehydrated capsule or something. So I don't know how this happened, but it's in my possession and it's in mint condition, and I'm very excited about it. And that's all I got to say. And if you just hear the noises like that bell. I don't know if there's a bell on this earth that sounds better than that. And the escapement, this is how it's supposed to sound. If you ever, people might not know this, but the Smith Corona Sterlings are supposed to sound like that. They're not supposed to sound any different than that when you return a carriage. Shift on each side, a shift lock on the left. To clear that, just hit the shift button again. Backspace on the top left of the keyboard works great. Tab on the top right. Got one set right there. To clear that, just hit the CL button right next to it. It's a fast acting. You can just do it with one hand. But I always like to, unless you have your hand ready to catch it, I always like to set one somewhere in the middle. Right there, maybe. There's 3 of them. So that way it doesn't slam all the way to the end, causing wear and tear on your typewriter. That works good. We're going to move that color up to black. To pull the page out easy, there's a switch on the right side here. Flip that forward, and it unlocks the rollers underneath the platen, allowing you to pull the page out easy or load thicker paper like carbon copy or cardstock. Make sure you flip that back before you load the next page. or else it won't load correctly. We're going to flip this down too. MR stands for margin release. So on the right side of the keyboard, there's a margin release. When you get to the end of the margin, there's a mechanism that blocks you from printing. Hit that MR button, it allows you to go all the way to the end. That works great. Open the hood like this. All the brand new ribbon is loaded on the left, so it's pulling to the right. If you want to switch that direction, right above the backspace, you flip that switch up. It pulls counterclockwise. Flip it down clockwise to the right. Touch control right above the keyboard on the left side here. The farther left you go, the more tension there is when you hit the keys. They do respond faster, but you got to hit them a little harder. So you just got to gauge what you're comfortable with when you start typing on that. Mess with the touch control. A lot of people will say, "Hey, I hated this typewriter until I messed with the touch control and I loved it." On the right side of the carriage is behind the knob is the carriage release. Just, I mean, I've had a bunch of these style typewriters, and this is the smoothest I've ever seen. And this is how it came when it first came out. This is how it was supposed to be. Just look at that. The only blemishes you see are like from me touching this thing, and that's why I got my gloves on. And this is your carriage release on the left side. If you pull this knob out, it disables the spacing so you can get to an exact spot on the page. You push it in, you get the clicks. Each one of those clicks is one space. Same concept with this lever on the inside here. Flip that down, it disables the spacing so you can get to an exact spot on the page. You flip it up, you get the clicks. And it has a page gauge, which is like a Smith Corona signature. On the right side, you see set, and you want to go to the 11. Right underneath the 11, when you load the page, you set it like that, and then once you get towards the end of the page, you see these little, this is just some grease, some oil or whatever. And then you start to see on the left side on the end, 2 inches left in the red, and then 1.5, 1 inch, and that's the end of the page. And that's it. Now available on eBay or Etsy. Search Brooksaw Antiques.